What's up friends, Dave from Chase the Summit here, and today we're going to be talking about a brand new feature that has come to the Whoop band in the form of estimated VO2 max. If you follow the channel, you know that a couple of days ago I posted a video where I compared a proper VO2 max lab test to all of the wearable devices that I've been testing for the past couple of years. Things like Garmin watches, Apple watches, COROS, Polar, all of them compared to that gold standard test. And today we'll be comparing that gold standard test to the Whoop band to see what it's all about. This does get pretty interesting because the way your Whoop band calculates your VO2 max is much different than how all of these other wearables do it, like Garmin here. But before we get into the results, a quick explainer on what we're talking about here. First of all, the Whoop band. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, it's essentially just a band. As you can see here, there's no display on here, there's no buttons. It's basically just a heart rate sensor and a set of sensors underneath with a Bluetooth communication to your phone, and that's sort of where all the magic happens. You can see here on my phone, I've got the Whoop app loaded up, and I've got all of my information about my sleep, my recovery, and my strain, and all of my activities truncated in one app. And it's actually a really nice experience and gives you a lot of information. If you want to learn more about the Whoop band or the Whoop app in general, definitely check out some of the other videos on my channel where I dive deeper on this. For the sake of this video, we're going to be laser focused in on that new VO2 max score. If you are interested on picking up a Whoop band, when it comes to pricing, it's pretty strange. It's not like other wearables out there. The Whoop band itself is essentially free, but it does come with a subscription that you have to pay to keep using the app on your phone. And without the app on your phone, the band is kind of useless. I should also note that I will have a link down below that will provide you with an annual discount and 1 month free with any subscription. So go check that out down below if you're interested. Okay, now that we've talked about the Whoop band and what is VO2 max? Well, if you're new to VO2 max, it can be a little bit confusing. Simply put, VO2 max is essentially the maximum amount of oxygen that your body can utilize during intense exercise. You can sort of think of it as a way to measure your aerobic fitness. The higher your VO2 max is, the more efficiently your body can utilize oxygen, and generally the better endurance and fitness and longer you can run over time. Now that we know what VO2 max is, let's talk about how Whoop estimates your VO2 max, because it's very different than all of the wearables out there like Apple or Garmin, for example. When we look at something like a Garmin watch here, Garmin uses outdoor activities like running to take into account to roll into their algorithm to come up with your estimated VO2 max. And to do that, they use your body weight, your heart rate zones, and your pace during outdoor exercise along with your heart rate. Jumping back to Whoop here, Whoop takes a different approach because the Whoop device itself is not a GPS-enabled device. It can't actually give you your actual pace when you're outdoor running, though you can do that by starting a manual workout in the app and leveraging your phone's GPS antenna. Whoop has an entire webpage that explains how the VO2 max algorithm works, and it states that they're leveraging a wide range of data, including your physiological metrics, your activity data from your runs and rides, and demographic information. The interesting thing though is that Whoop is also incorporating some of your non-activity data. This could be things like your resting heart rate, and the longer you wear the Whoop device, the more data that will be aggregated and theoretically, the more accurate it will get. Now, it is important to note that while wearing a Whoop device, you need to wear the thing for 14 days before your estimated VO2 max will be unlocked. During that time, it's collecting all of the data it needs to come up with your unique score. And then after that first 14-day period, your VO2 max will be updated every 1 week. On top of that, Whoop also recommends running outdoors or cycling outdoors using your phone's GPS antenna by starting a manual workout in the app to get the most data possible so they can roll in your pace, your heart rate, and everything and get a better view of your fitness. That 14-day unlock period is only for new Whoop users. If you're an existing user and you've been wearing the Whoop band for a while, it'll populate right away. Now that we know how Whoop is estimating your VO2 max, how does a proper lab test compare? Now, it's very different. When you go to a sports lab and do a VO2 max test, they're going to strap a big mask to your face. That mask will be connected to a hose that will be connected to a very expensive machine, and that machine will be able to determine exactly how much oxygen you're pulling in and how much carbon dioxide is coming out. And based on that, after you do some intense workouts on a treadmill or on a bike, it will actually generate your true VO2 max. In terms of accuracy, when it comes to lab tests, they're considered very accurate, typically within a tolerance of plus or minus 3%. So we're gonna use that as a baseline of comparison when we look at the Whoop Band score. And that's a long-winded way of bringing us to the results in this video. Now, if you watched my previous video on VO2 max, you already know my VO2 max, but I'll tell you it anyways. At the lab, when I did that treadmill workout at varying intensities until failure, I got a VO2 max score of 57 milliliters of oxygen consumed per kilogram of body weight. That VO2 max of 57 at my age, at age 40, being a 40-year-old male, puts me in the upper spectrum for athletes out there in my age group, though I do hope to improve this further before my next race. And that brings us to the interesting part of this video, the estimated VO2 max on my Whoop Band. So if we dive into the Whoop app on my phone here and tap on the strain tab here, and scroll down, you're gonna see a new metric at the bottom of all these metrics for VO2 max. And right away, you can see there, Whoop is giving me an estimated VO2 max of 56. Tapping in on that, you can see right at the top there, 56 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight. However, you will also notice that I only have one sample score of that estimated score so far. And that's because I just got done with that 14-day unlock period, so as time progresses, I am curious to see how this compares and changes over time. With that being said, I am quite surprised by how closely the Whoop Band got to the lab test in terms of accuracy. To be honest, I was a bit concerned while going through that 14-day unlock period because I didn't know whether or not Whoop took sleep or HRV into account for their estimated VO2 max score. And during that 14-day time, I had a cold, my kids were sick, they were in my bed on certain occasions, so all that to say, I wasn't sleeping all that great. However, it appears that bad sleep doesn't really affect your estimated VO2 max when it comes to Whoop. And now that I've established this baseline, I plan to continue to wear the Whoop Band to see how this score evolves over time as I continue to train for my next race. But for now, color me impressed with how accurate the estimated VO2 max is on the Whoop Band so far. And now's the point of the video where I want to hear from you. Do you have a Whoop Band? How does your Whoop Band estimate your VO2 max? And how does it compare to any other wearables you might have, like your Apple Watch or Garmin or whatever? Or if you got a lab test, I'd love to hear how they compare in the comments down below. And with that, we've reached the end of this short and sweet video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you did find it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you drop into the comments down below and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. After you do that, also check all of the links in the description down below where I'll have the Whoop Band linked along with that discount code to get you an annual discount and a free month membership. Check that out, and then after you check that out, also check out the links to my other social media profiles like my Strava, my Instagram, my Threads account, and of course, my podcast, Distance Junkie, that I'm trying to do on a semi-weekly basis where I talk about all these things. And after you do all that, also check out the merch store where you can pick up some sweet Chase to Summit swag. And until next time, I hope you're getting after it, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye.